Hey everyone, for like the 30 people that are gonna watch this. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I haven't made a video in a long time, and there's been like a lot on my mind lately, and so I feel like this is a good place for me to just come and rant, I guess. Yeah, and I apologize for looking like shit. Like, I always feel like filming something right after I roll out of bed. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like every time I get off track of like all the progress I've made mentally, like I almost have to like have a situation present itself or have something that not as bad happen, but like something that reminds me why I started doing the things I was doing. Because I don't know. It's like if everything's going super well and there's no problems, it's like that's great and all, but you're not gonna evolve at all as a person if everything's just perfect all the time. So it's like sometimes I get, down, like, fuck, like why am I constantly being reminded that like life is difficult? But it's so that I can return like back to like the things I believe in and the things that help me and the things that I can share with other people to help them. And it's like if my life was just great all the time, I wouldn't need to like be aware of what's going on mentally and like all this shit, because like I need to be aware, because if something's happening outside of me that my mind wants to label as like, oh, this is a bad situation, this is not what we wanted, this is just like, I don't know, just a shitty situation. It's like my mind automatically wants to label something as that. And in reality, like everything that happens is neutral. It's just what parts of it we're focusing on and like how we're looking at the situation that makes it good or bad. Because really there's no such thing as good or bad. It's just everything's just neutral. There's actually some story that like, there's some story about, I don't know how it goes. It's like something about a guy losing his horse over and over again, and someone's like, aren't you upset about this? And he's like, no, like, just wait, like, I wish I looked this up before I made this video. But basically what ends up happening is someone keeps asking him, oh, like, aren't you upset your horse got stolen? Aren't you upset about this? And he's like, no. And then he just like waits, and then what ends up happening is, for some reason, like because of his horse getting stolen, like some other shit comes into his life that was way better than what he had before. And it's like, yeah, it's hard not to, but like we can't let ourselves get stuck into like some victim mentality, like, oh, like I'll never have a fucking loving relationship, or I'll never have any money, or I'll never do this or that. It's like, yeah, it's hard sometimes and things don't work out, but it's like you gotta remind yourself or this is what I remind myself at least, like, let's say, for example, in the past with my relationships, people I was with for a long time, it's like I needed to learn those lessons, and I needed to just go through those experiences to make me, I guess, have more wisdom about relationships or something. The only thing that I would change is that I maybe could have like learned the lessons faster, because I spent a lot of time in those relationships. But that's what I remind myself. I'm like, okay, like, well, I guess this is specifically in relationships. Like, if someone doesn't give you the attention that you deserve back, or that they treat you badly, or they're just not, it just doesn't turn out how you wanted. It's like the sooner you can let that go and move forward, the less time you're wasting actually getting to the person that you want to be with or the situation that you want to be in. Like, it's like when this is a like stupid analogy, but it's like when you're swimming, you don't grab onto the water and like freak out. You just kind of let, like if you're in a river or something, you just let the river like kind of guide you where it wants to go, and without resisting so much, you know? And I have to remind myself that, because of course, as any human, normal human, like my mind wants to like control situations and like have something a specific way, but it's like, I don't know, it's like how I'm not looking down at the world seeing exactly what my path is clearly. So it's like something, a higher power, whatever you want to call it, knows better than I do. So like, why would I resist so much the natural like flow of my life? You know what I mean? I don't know if this is making any sense, but that's why I'm just like ranting, because yeah, I don't know, I don't like having structured thoughts, as you can tell. I'm just all over the place sometimes. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just realizing recently how important it is just to be present. And like, I know I've talked about this like so many times, and I'm sorry, but it's so important, because like if you think about it, your life is just made up of little moments. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're rich or if you're middle class or if you work at McDonald's every day. It's like, if you look at people's, this is hard to explain. Like, for example, a rich person and someone like me, like, we probably both wake up every day and go and make our coffees or go and get our coffee and sit there for 30 minutes drinking our coffee, kind of planning out our day in our head. It's like, our lives are made up of like these little segments of like what we do during the day, and for the most part, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in a fancy mansion drinking your coffee or if you're in an apartment. It's like, your mind thinks it's gonna be so much better sitting in that fancy house drinking your coffee, but like all the sensations of you sitting on the couch drinking your coffee, looking out the window, like it's all pretty much the same. Like, I don't know, I was thinking about this last night. I feel like for a lot of people, they don't even want to be rich necessarily to have like all the fancy shit. They just want like a sense of security, I think, because people are just like fearful by nature, and so like they feel like, oh, if I have this job that I went to college for, that I worked really hard for, then that guarantees me like some kind of security. Even if they don't enjoy it at all, like they'll still do it, because it's like at the core of that is just like fear of not having control. And so like, I don't even think the money that they get from that job or having a nice house is really what's making them happy. I don't think it makes them happy at all. I think it just kind of pushes down the fear that they have of being out of control and maybe not knowing where they're gonna live, or like kind of having a little more chaos in their lives. It's like people will like avoid that at all costs, even if it means that they're not happy. Like, as long as they're secure, like that's all they need. They could be depressed, but if they're secure, it's okay. You know what I mean? So, which I get it. I'm not talking shit on this, because it's like, being a human is scary. Like, we're very vulnerable. And yeah, it's just, it's hard to like rise above fear, I guess, and choose like things that you love or things that make you happy over having security. yeah, but I feel like it's worth it, because who wants to like work a job that they hate, or maybe not even that they hate, but they just tolerate, and do the same routine every single day, and maybe not have anyone in your life, not have many friends, not have a good partner, this and that, because you sacrificed all of that just for whatever job it is, if that makes sense. Yeah, but just, I guess just to sum up what I've been realizing lately is, it's like every time I forget to be present, or I get caught up in trying to control situations, like I always end up suffering. I always end up feeling like shit, because the reality is I can't fucking control the situation or situations in my life. So the best way for me to kind of combat that is literally just being in the moment and being grateful for the things that I have. Yeah, because I don't know. Okay, I think I'm gonna end this video, because I don't know, it just feels like a natural time to stop. I don't feel like I have anything else to say, but I'm sure as soon as I turn off the camera, I'm gonna think of something else I have to say. Yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys all are having a great day, and try not to let fear control your life. Try to be present and love yourself. Do things that you love. Do things that scare you. I feel like I should take my own advice.